How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about Hollywood actress Debra Messing, who currently plays Grace from Will and Grace over on NBC. We'll get to that whole thing in a moment, but she's been getting into some hot water on Twitter as of late for a couple of reasons. The first one being that she is trying to reintroduce McCarthyism back into the public sphere. She's talking about naming and shaming those that support Trump in Hollywood. She also retweeted a racist tweet against black conservatives and agreed with it. Let's start with the last thing first to get that out the way. Shout out to my man Terrence Williams for doing an excellent job in responding to what she said. And if you want to see his video, I'll link to that in the description box below. But basically, there was a tweet that referenced a video I did a little while ago about the Alabama church that had a sign out in front that said, "A black vote for Trump is mental illness." She saw that tweet and agreed with it. And I'll place her tweet on the screen before you. You would not be able to find that on her Twitter page because she deleted it after she saw Terrence's tweet. Now, she gave a really half apology to Terrence. It's to the point where it's not an apology, and I'll place that on the screen before you as well. She basically said, look, I don't really want to talk about the mental illness part, but you have to realize that Trump wants to block the black vote with voter suppression in Charlottesville and this, that, and the third. She went all the way around the world to explain why being a black person and voting for Trump is a bad thing. Okay, so she didn't apologize for that part of it. She apologized for the mental illness part. All right. She doesn't want to upset that particular community, but us as black folks, look, I said what I said, and that's pretty much what I got from her quote unquote apology, but I digress. What Terrence said in this video was absolutely correct. He basically was like, look, I'm a black person and I voted for Trump. I'm not mentally ill. I'm perfectly fine. And you, Miss White Liberal Lady, cannot tell me what to do, what to think, or whatever. I'm going to do what I'm going to do as an individual. And I agree with that 100%. Okay. And what she said or what she retweeted and then agreed with was racist. You can't tell somebody that you got to vote for X, Y, and Z person because of your particular race. I mean, you could do that, but if you do that, I'd right to say that it's racist. All right. Let anybody vote for whoever they want to vote for, regardless of what. We can talk about the different policies and whatnot, but don't just assume because I'm black, I have to vote for a particular party. All right. And moving right along in that whole situation, Trump chimed in on this, and I'll place his tweets on the screen before you as well. And what he said here was very interesting, and I like this angle. I didn't think about it before. He said, what if it was Roseanne or somebody like that saying the things about black folks that she said? Remember, Roseanne was a star of the show Roseanne and got her whole show taken away from her. It kicked her off the show. Well, she voluntarily left, but they kicked her off. They renamed it The Conners. She's totally gone from her whole show because of the thing about Valerie Jarrett. It was also on Twitter. She was like something about Planet of the Apes or whatever. And people said, oh, you're being racist towards her because she's black. Now, to be 1000% honest, I had no idea that Valerie Jarrett was black before that whole thing happened. And I'm obviously black. I had no clue. Okay. I thought she was Iranian because isn't that where she was born? I just don't really see the features. So I had no idea. Roseanne said she didn't know either. And I tend to believe her. If I'm a black person and I don't know, how could Roseanne know? And she's a Jewish lady. How would she know? But they said that's racist and you got to get canceled from TV. I wonder if they're going to take Grace away from Will and Grace after this whole kerfuffle against black conservatives. I doubt it because Hollywood does not really care about racism. They care about racism only when it affects one of their own. If it affects one of a person that's not their own, they don't really care nothing about that. But I'll move right along. She also had a tweet before the racist tweet against black conservatives about Hollywood people that may support Trump. Give you a little bit of background here. There's some kind of fundraiser in Hollywood, Beverly Hills, whatever, that is in support of Trump. She came out on Twitter and said, hey, we need to get a list of all these people and put them out there, basically name them and shame them. That is called McCarthyism. That's exactly what it is. That's not a new idea. Back in the day, you had the Senator Joseph McCarthy, who came up with a list of so-called communists, people that were, Russian collaborators or whatever that were in Hollywood, screenwriters, actors, or whatever, as a blacklist. And the intention was to have them not work in Hollywood anymore. And, it was a list that has the same effect that her list would have. That's not cool. That's not okay. I don't care what kind of party you come from. That's not a good thing to do. It's the same thing that, Joaquin or Julian Castro wanted to do in San Antonio to name and shame Trump supporters there. He put a list out on Twitter. Now, his reaction and defense is the same as hers, talking about, it's a public list. Maybe that's true. Maybe it's not true. It doesn't really matter. Even if it is true, you're not doing what has already been done. You're putting it on a platform to try and attack these people, whether physically, whether through their work, or whatever the case may be. That is not a good thing to do. It's so bad, even Whoopi Goldberg came out and spoke against it.
Listen, the last time people did this, people ended up killing themselves.
Yeah.
This is not a good idea, okay?
Listen,
your idea of who you don't want to work with is your personal business. Do not encourage people to print out lists, because the next list that comes out, your name will be on, and then people will be coming after you. No one. Nobody. We had something called the blacklist, and a lot of really good people were accused of stuff. Nobody cared whether it was true or not. They were accused, and they lost their right to work. You don't have the right. In this country, people can vote for who they want to. That is one of the great rights of this country. You don't have to like it.
So you know that if you have any kind of sense that comes from The View, it's pretty bad, all right? She nailed it 100%. It's like, look, I may not agree with you politically, who you vote for, who you didn't vote for, or whatever the case may be, but you have that right to vote or not vote for whoever you want, and that's fine. But we shouldn't be attacking people based on that. Let's have a civil debate about, particular policies or reasons why you vote or whatever. Let's have that be the case. Don't try to name and shame me and put me basically in this list to be targeted for any kind of retaliation. That's not a good thing to do. So Debra Messing is in a whole lot of hot water here. I want to see the reaction to this. Is she still going to be on Will and Grace? If she's still allowed to have her show, we see the liberal hypocrisy yet again. It wouldn't be anything new as far as that whole thing is concerned. Liberals being hypocritical. I've been told many times, I've said many times, if it were not for double standards, liberals would not have standards. They talk about all this stuff. We got to have diversity. We got to have inclusion. We got to have this. We got to have that. It only applies to when you think the same way they think. Liberals do not want diversity of thought or opinion or viewpoint, whatever you want to call it. All they want are people that look differently. They want everybody to be automatons, act the same, eat the same, dress the same. They want everybody to be the same on their personality, basically, on their politics, basically, but different on how they look. I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? Do you think that Debra Messing is racist for what she said about black conservatives? How about this list she wants against Hollywood people that may support Trump? Isn't that dangerous? Isn't that a thing that should put her on a list? Like, what's the point of the list? Do you want them to be attacked? Do you want them to be brutalized, have their home invaded, not be able to work anymore? Should they even be legal? Now, like she said, the list may be public, but that ain't the same thing as putting it out on Twitter in an antagonistic kind of way. It's very simple. Will she still keep her job over on NBC? Keep an eye on that. Anybody that's out there listening, you might be on the left, might be on the right. Keep an eye on that. If she's able to keep her job, you already know what time it is. The fix is in. You can be a liberal person and say whatever you want about whatever kind of race, but don't be conservative and do the same thing, or even lean conservative. I don't think Roseanne is really a conservative. Maybe I'm wrong. She may just happen to lean that way, and she got totally destroyed. They wanted to kill her show from the very beginning. It was doing very well in ratings, but they wanted to kill it because it didn't want anything that would show Trump or anybody conservative in a positive light on television. That's how Hollywood operates. I think we'll see more of that as it relates to how Debra Messing gets handled in the days and weeks and months ahead. But whatever your comments are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.